Welcome to another edition of the Quality and Practice Minute. In this edition, I'd like to discuss the problem-solving process and when it's appropriate to use the problem-solving process and the tools, and when is it overkill. So I was having a discussion with a friend recently who related a story to me about a problem-solving effort that she led in her workplace. To her, the solution was obvious, so she just went ahead and did it, what I call a just do it type of a project. And she was having a discussion with a colleague after the fact, and this colleague was admonishing her for not using the process and the tools of the problem-solving process. So no matter what the methodology, Lean, Six Sigma, Red X, 8D, there's an issue with blind adherence to the process. So if there's blind adherence to the process without understanding the context of the application of the process and the tools, that's an abuse of the problem-solving process, and it really does a disservice to the problem-solving process. Blind adherence in every problem is a nail when all you have is a hammer solution. What that means is that if you only have one trick in your bag, every problem is going to have to fit that tool that's in your bag, and that's the hammer and nail analogy. In reality, every problem is a snowflake, unique in its own way. Dogmatic adherence to a method when management is not committed or when the solution is obvious just damages the method's reputation. There have been many Lean or Six Sigma projects that have been undertaken to convince management to do the right thing when the right thing is just obvious. This is an abuse of the process, and this abuse leads fence sitters and non-believers in the problem-solving process to conclude that you really don't need Lean or Six Sigma or Red X or whatever method you're trying to follow to make things better, since really all it does is confirm what we already knew. So how do we decide what method to use and when? So I've put together a little set of rules of thumb. So if there's a root cause that's obvious and or solutions that are obvious, then don't waste your time doing Lean or Six Sigma. Just go ahead and do that. Just build the management commitment and go ahead and implement that solution. That's what I call a just do it project. If there's an unknown root cause or solution and the problem is variation related, then Six Sigma is ideal for those kinds of problems. If there's an unknown root cause and or solutions and the problem is primarily waste or inefficiency related, then Lean is the ticket for those kinds of problems. If there's unknown root causes and solutions and the problem is constraint related, so capacity is the limitation, then theory of constraints is the right set of tools and the right process to use in those situations. If it's an unknown root cause and or solution and it's really a product design limitation or a design issue, then those are ideally suited to Design for Six Sigma or DFSS. If there's an unknown root cause and or solution and it's reliability related, in other words, the product is not achieving its life expectation, then Six Sigma or Red X are the likely solutions or the likely processes and tool sets to use in those situations. The general rule of thumb that I want to leave you with is to use all the tools in your toolbox to solve issues along the way. So we shouldn't be dogmatic and rigid about which tools to use, and we shouldn't leave opportunity on the table along the way. So if you're solving a variation problem and you see some inefficiency or waste or some manufacturing constraints along the way, then use those tools in your toolbox to solve those sorts of problems and gain the benefit of those improvements along with the variation reduction that you achieve. So the main message here is don't be dogmatic and rigid. Rather adopt a broader, more flexible mindset about the proper application of continuous improvement tools and process. So thank you for watching this Quality in Practice Minute. I'll see you again next time.